It's been a week since the power went out, 3 days since the water stopped, and the Anderson family next door died yesterday. But none of that is what's making you miserable. It's the heat. The heat is what killed the Anderson family, and that's what's making your life an absolute miserable hell. The only reason why you're still alive right now is because you failed the bathtub with water you used to drink from and help cool you down. The Andersons didn't think of doing that. And they couldn't go anywhere to get any water because the EMP fried their Tesla. The Andersons ran out of water a few days ago. Here's the biggest issue when it comes to heat. Heat will kill you. That is, if you aren't prepared. I sometimes think to myself, how on earth am I going to stay cool without modern air conditioning? Modern American homes were not built like they were in the 1700s. Modern homes are built assuming the AC will always work, dark roofs, and minimal natural ventilation. The people who lived here 300 years ago didn't have the AC that we have today. They didn't have air conditioning at all, no electricity, none of the modern luxuries that we have. But they also didn't build their homes like we do today. Closed windows, no natural airflow, heavy insulation, concrete and asphalt everywhere. What is all of this scream with no AC? Heat. In 1726, people used thick, adobe or stone or log built their homes out of. They had cross ventilation in natural airflow. They did their cooking outside and not inside. People worked early in the morning and late in the evenings, and they rested during the midday. However, we don't live in the 1700s right now. We live in today's modern world and modern homes. We have to face the fact that our modern homes that we have today are not built like they used to be. And if the power is out, our modern homes become a death trap during the summer. So, what do we do about it? The good news is that you don't need electricity to make a house cooler. You're not going to turn your living room into an air-conditioned hotel, but you can make the difference between a home that's uncomfortable and one that's survivable. The first thing you need to do is stop the sun from heating your house in the first place. Once that heat gets inside, it's much harder to get rid of. Keep curtains, blinds, and blackout coverings closed on windows that face the morning and afternoon sun. If you have tarps, shade cloth, plywood, or even reflective emergency blankets, use them to block the sunlight from the outside if possible. Stopping the sun before it reaches the glass is far more effective than trying to block it after it has already entered the house. Next, use the cooler parts of the day to your advantage. Open windows just before sunrise and after sunset to let cooler air move through the house. If you can create cross ventilation by opening windows on opposite sides of the home, you'll move much more air than with a single open window. Then, once the outside temperature starts climbing again, close the windows and keep that cooler air trapped inside for as long as possible. If you have a basement, spend as much time there as you can. Heat rises, and even a partially underground room can be significantly cooler than the upper floors. Finally, don't create extra heat indoors unless you absolutely have to. Every time you cook on the stove, bake something in the oven, or run a fuel-burning appliance inside, you're adding even more heat to an already dangerous situation. If it's safe to do so, cook outside instead. But cooling your house is only half the fight. You have to cool your body too. That's what actually keeps you alive. Your body dumps heat through sweat. In extreme heat, you can lose over a liter of water an hour. That's why that bathtub matters. You're not just drinking it. Soak a bandana or a t-shirt and wrap it around your neck and wrists. That's where your blood runs close to the skin, and wet cloth pulls heat out of you fast. At night, sleep under a damp sheet with a window cracked. People were doing this 100 years before air conditioning existed. It works. Sleep low. Ground floor, basement floor if you have one. Before AC, folks in Phoenix slept on porches and rooftops because inside was worse. Do the same if it's safe, and know the warning signs. Heavy sweating, dizziness, and cramps mean heat exhaustion. Get that person cool and hydrated now. But if someone stops sweating, their skin goes hot and dry, and they get confused, that's heat stroke. That's the thing that killed the Andersons. Above 104 degrees, your organs start cooking. Wet them down, fan them, get them to the coolest spot you have. Minutes matter.